Hello there, and welcome to the Trending in My Life podcast, episode 55. This week we're talking about fate or determination. This all came about because I went into central London, and when I'd done what I wanted to do, I tried to get to Victoria Station so that I could get the train home. There were a lot of trains not running on that day, and I found myself an unwilling prisoner of the C10 bus, crawling through traffic. Couldn't get off because we weren't at any bus stops, we were just stuck in traffic. Anyway, it decided to terminate early with promises that another bus would be coming along directly behind us. But when we got off, and because I was heading for Victoria, there are a lot of people with cases going to the bus and train station. When everyone got off, what we found out from people already waiting at the bus stop was ours was the third bus to come by that had terminated early, and nothing actually seemed to be getting through to Victoria Station. So resolutely, people with lots of cases decided they were going to walk, and with the help of Google Maps set off. Now, I'd looked it up the same, and one way was 25 minutes, one way was 22 minutes. So I went off in the other direction with the shorter route. And I found myself wandering down completely empty back streets of Pimlico, which is the adjacent area to Victoria. It was peaceful and amazing that it was so quiet compared to the main road not so far away. The temperatures were rising, and I was determined I needed to get to Victoria. There were plenty of buses going in the other direction, sort of Trafalgar Square way, but I knew that I couldn't get a train from there, they weren't running, and that the only way back from there was a bus all the way home, which would take about an hour and a half. So I was determined to get to Victoria and get the train. So I kept on walking, came out onto a main road, and suddenly I was walking past bus stops which had a different route to the original one I got off of. And just as I walked past one bus stop, a bus stopped. And when I looked at the front of it, I thought, I'll see if it's going past Victoria. And sure enough, it was. So I got on that bus, and it was only 2 stops, and he was going quite quickly. And I was at Victoria Station, and I was able to get my train home. So for me, I felt like that was a combination of my determination to get there and then fate delivering a bus just when I needed it the most. It would have been a lot longer walk than I'd have wanted to do in the hot sun, so I was glad the bus came along. But that got me thinking about how in life fate interferes and with a helping hand. And sometimes it's a combination of our determination and also fate that gets us to the results that we really want. Like when you're applying for jobs and you send out 100 CVs or resumes and you get 3 replies. But one of those, just one, is the one that you get. And that's the job you wanted. So your determination made you approach all those different companies that could employ you. But that one job was fate lending a helping hand, letting your resume arrive at just the time when they were actually looking for somebody. I always think job agencies can be a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing that they have a far reach and that they can put your name in front of people that you might not even know how to contact. But it's also a curse because they can push you to take a job that you don't really want. It's just that they feel you have the right experience for it. On my train on the way home, I could see back gardens, and I saw a woman stood in the sun blowing up a paddling pool for her children, and she was doing it the hard way, the puff, puff, blow way. No pump in sight, but I thought what a wonderful example of determination that she was going to keep going until that paddling pool was completely blown up so she could fill it with water and let the kids play outside. Quite often, determination plays a great part in getting towards your goal. You might leave uni and have a goal to work in a certain sector, and it's only determination that keeps you going. You could apply but not get anywhere, and then think, okay, well, I'll get a part-time job doing something I'm not really interested in, but just to keep the money coming in, just to keep me in the city I want to be in. And you just keep applying and keep applying, and fate delivers somebody. Say you're doing bar work. Fate delivers somebody into that bar that starts chatting to you one evening and turns out works in exactly the right sector that you want to get into, and offers to give you a chance, offers to give you an interview if you want to drop by. And their fate and determination have a role in you actually achieving your goal. You might have left home to make your own way in the world, and it's through determination that you manage to find a job and find a place to live and are meeting your bills, and you're not quite sure what you still want to do with your life. You're figuring it out, but you're out there and you're supporting yourself, and whether your family approve or not, you're making your way in the world. And then you never know when you might figure out exactly what you want to do. It could be through part-time jobs that you will find something that you love to do. It could be through socializing and trying out different adventures, hobbies, etc., that you find something that really inspires you. And you think, okay, I like rock climbing. Maybe I should go and work in a rock climbing centre. Maybe I should go abroad and try and climb a mountain one day. And one thing can lead to another. And with enough determination, you could indeed fill those goals. I think especially if you've moved to a city to work, sometimes it can be very lonely, that you don't make friends very easily at first. And it can be through your own determination to join sporting clubs or go on blind dates or go on a singles night so that you can have a chance to meet other people. They might not be a partner for life, but they might be somebody that you like to hang out with. There are quite a few language clubs in London where people wanting to learn English will meet up with other people who it's the mother tongue for, and they'll just have pizza night or coffee in the daytime where they all get together and chat to each other. And sometimes the people who are speaking English to teach the other person, they also want to learn the language that the other person speaks as their first language. So it's like a mutual trade of skills. But it can be as determined as talking to people at bus stops, talking to the person next to you on the train, trying to make conversation with someone at the next table when you're sat outside a coffee shop, and not giving up. You know, the first few people might ignore you or just exchange a few words, but then you never know when fate will lend a hand and bring you the person to sit at the next table who will end up being your best friend, and that a couple of words about the weather could lead to a lifetime friendship. You just never know. But you were determined to keep going and giving yourself the opportunities that could lead to something before fate helped you out. I think determination plays a big part in starting a small business, because there's plenty of ups and downs when you do that, and people will need to be very determined, have a lot of confidence, and have faith in themselves to keep going, because inevitably there will be setbacks. There is quite a lot of help for people starting a small business in London, and doing your research for something like that is eye-opening, that there's quite a lot of help out there for people. Even so, though, it's going to take a lot of determination to keep going, not to give up at the first hurdle, but just to keep going, keep going, keep going. You know you can do it. And that's how people end up with successful companies. They just don't give up. They just keep going. If something isn't working, they look at it from a different angle, and they just try and try and try, and they never give up. You never know when fate is going to deliver just the right person, just the right situation, just the right bus in my circumstances. So, so it's always worth trying your best, but remembering you can have a surprise piece of good luck that you just weren't expecting to help you along your way. If you've experienced fate bringing you something just at the right time, please comment below. I hope you enjoyed this podcast today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. Bye for now.